3, 2, 1. It's go time. Welcome to the show. It's go time. This is the ultimate podcast for salespeople and sales managers that are in the trenches, for folks that got to talk to people to make a sale. And as always, our technology genius, Robert Bazaki, the Croatian Tiger. And then, as always, we got Dylan Wynn as the co-host.
Hi.
Welcome, Dylan Wynn.
Thanks, man.
We got a good one here for today, because one of the biggest problems that we have in sales, at least that I see, that keeps us low of the lows, is that the math ain't mathin' in our finances, right? Now, a little exclaimer. We are not financial experts. Please don't take any of our advice as financial advice, blah, 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 whatever we got to say legally. So, but you got to get your money right in sales if you want to have a good time. And if you're having a good time, you're making a lot of money. And if you're making a lot of money, you're having a good time, right? As long as it's all ethical.
1 + 1 = 2 there.
Come on. And I've had a spiritual awakening recently, right? The eighth one, right? In finances around this. And I think it's just a super important topic that we need to talk about. Because ultimately, if we look around, I think the statistics are somewhere around 7 out of 10 of everybody in the United States cannot afford a $2,000 or $4,000 emergency. What is it? 62% of folks are paycheck to paycheck, right? And 40 some odd % of folks that earn $100K are also paycheck to paycheck. And only 20% of the population actually earn an income that warrant being paycheck to paycheck. So what does that mean? That means we're consuming and spending our financial future away. You are, I am, you are, 7 out of 10 people, if not more, right? And so it's not about keeping up with the Joneses, right? To where you got to get this, you got to get that to look cool or what have you. Man, it's about taking care of your financial future. All right. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is you got to get a grip on your finances, right? Maybe you're in debt right now. Maybe you got a bunch of credit card debt. Maybe you got things that just so much pressure around you, around your finances. And let me tell you this is it fun to have a lot of financial pressure around you in sales, Dylan, when you got to go out there and you got to have a smile on your face?
No, it makes things 10 times harder.
Wow. Makes things harder. Absolutely. So let's make things easier for our audience here. How about that? Does that sound good?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we're here to help you release the burden of your finances, right? Because it's time. Like, how long is it going to be until you make a decision to get your money right? Okay. Don't wait until you're 27, right? That's when I started in sales when I was 25, and I was 27 when I was like, wait a minute, I'll be 1,000 years old by the time I'm a millionaire if I did the math, right? And so you got to make a decision, draw the line in the sand. It's like, that's why you got into sales anyways, right? Right? You probably got into sales to make an abnormal income, to make more money than you had before, maybe to have more freedom, right? Maybe it's to get your skills up. Maybe it's to be a better person. Like, lots of beautiful things happen in sales, but it's to get your money right. Right. And so what's a big thing that you see there, Dylan, around finances and salespeople that you train or observe or study in this realm of things?
So this actually, this just happened, man. It just happened where me and some of my teammates, we were saying like, hey, we're not netting enough. We're not doing this enough. We're not doing that enough. And I was like, you know what? I'm not the guy to sit there and complain. I was like, let's figure out what the hell is actually going on. So I made a profit loss sheet.
Let's figure it out,
and
baby.
I made everyone do it. It's like, look, guys, you actually care about your finances. Let's do it, right? And together. So we sat there. We went through every transaction. We said, what is actually necessary for our business? Not something we're saying like, I say food's necessary for my business, but anywhere you go, you have to buy food anyways. You have to buy groceries anyway. So whatever you have to spend for your business to operate, that's your business expense for your profit and loss sheet, right? So we actually sit there and did that. And we were saying like, oh, dude, we're not netting anything. And
the business, man, the business ain't working, bro.
Everyone was blaming the business, and they were not blaming themselves. They're like, I'm looking. There's nothing I can go down from. And then when you actually put the proof in the pudding on the sheet, we did only 2 months. we realized everyone had above a like 70% profit margin, but everyone was negative for the past 2 months. How? Because everyone always correlates their personal life and their business life together. But in reality, they're two separate things. Our brain naturally wants to correlate everything in one whole swirl, but you got to separate the two. And when you separate two, you can identify, is it my business fault or is it my personal life? Right? And then when you do that, you can realize 90%, 95% of the time, you will see that it is your personal life. And you actually talked about it earlier to me, where like the paycheck to paycheck thing, you got to make like 20,000 to actually make it by, and the rest is just lifestyle. And everyone doesn't even realize that when they're in sales, because they're like, dude, I'm not making enough.
Oh no.
And I actually, you are not making enough either, but you're also spending a crap ton, so you can't even see anything that's even going on in your business.
So what you're saying is pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Because a lot of times we have this feeling that things aren't going our way because of this, because of that, because of that. Okay, cool. Show me that that's the case. Now, if you can show me, then we got something to work with.
Yeah, you can't fix a feeling, but we can fix data.
We
can change data.
I was talking to my coach the other day, and he's like talking about my money, and I was like, yeah, I feel like it's blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, money doesn't have feelings. What is it? And I'm like, oh, damn. All right,
me.
hold on. Yeah,
I feel that way.
Let me get you the numbers then. Let me get you the numbers. And so it's a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Chico? Hey, get down. Hey, that's our mascot, Chico.
Shout out Chico.
Yeah, hell yeah. He makes a lot of commission, right?
I like that because no one can make you feel a certain way. No industry, no sales, no deal can make you feel a certain way. You make yourself feel a certain way. You really process what they just said to you, and you change to how your perspective looked. You did it, not we did it. You did it. So you really got to put yourself in that spot of like, is it my business fault or is it my personal life? And then you really can change things, because if it's a feeling based, like I feel like it's this, well, who gave you that feeling? That's something I always realize, like no one's made me feel that way.
Yeah.
And that goes to like everything, not even money. It's like if someone says something rude to me, well, I don't have to be rude back. You know, I want to be, but I don't have to be. It's a choice. And same with feeling like this, feeling like that. So if anything you say, I feel like, well, you probably should stop. Not saying you should invalidate, devalue what you're about to say emotionally, because you should push out what you feel emotionally. But if you're about to make a financial decision based off your emotions, I'm going to tell you this 10 out of 10 times, it's probably the wrong decision to make.
Yeah, and we're in a consumeristic society. Right. And so it's normal to go swipity, swipity, swipe, especially on a credit card. Right. You don't even have to touch anything to buy something.
It's a tap now.
Right. Yeah. You can get close and you've already spent. Like you don't even have to touch it. Right.
It's on my phone now.
There you go. Yeah, man. And so do you think these credit card companies like know what they're doing? Yeah. They're trying to make it easy for all of us to spend all of our money. They're making you spend all of your money. Oh, but I can't afford it. Hey, look, you're the one that has that $800 car payment that borrowed money from some bank to buy a car that you don't need, right? Like you're the one that bought a house that you don't need and borrowed a bunch of money, right? You're the one that spent all your money on a credit card or like racking it up and like, oh my God, how to get there? Dude, hey man, you gotta pay attention. Pay attention. Now, there's a disc assessment.
Real quick. I know Pat's not saying this, but I'm saying this.
Come on.
If you're pissed off from what we're saying,
good.
Be pissed off. Be so pissed off.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you, and we're making you pissed off because we want you to be so mad at your situation that you said, "Damn it,
I'm done with this shit.
I'm gonna change my life, and I'm gonna make the decision to make sure I'm never in this spot again." Because you can suffer. Like for me, I was suffering for about 3 years. I was okay.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. I was okay with the lifestyle I was okay working 2 jobs, working 50 hours a week. I was okay with that. And it literally took me 0.3, 0.5, whatever you want to name it. It took me 1 second to make a decision to say, I'm going to get my finances right.
I'm done.
So get mad. Get so mad that you're just tired of living the life you want. And you said, damn it, they're right. Let's change it forever.
You got to be pissed off at a certain point, right? You got to be pissed off. Look, man, you got yourself there and you can get yourself out. And we got your back, man. Like, look, dude, I was broke for 27 years, right? Some people don't even live that long, right? And you got to wake up, right? One of the purposes of this podcast is to wake you up, because somebody woke me up when I was 27 and it was the greatest gift I was ever given. I'm like, oh my God, I've been running everybody else's game plan. And it's time to get your money right, right? So if 7 out of 10 people cannot even afford an emergency of $2,000 to $4,000, don't you think that the normal game plan might be a little broken? I think so, right? That means 7 out of 10 people in restaurants should not be in a restaurant, right? They're probably spending on credit, right? Very few people have a budget. Hey, yeah, we budgeted for this thing. Right. And so pay attention to your finances, pay attention to your income. Right. And one thing that I think about, because I was in this trap for a while, right? Once I started getting my mindset right, I thought that, okay, if I just keep earning, well, at some point, like I'll just have high margins, which was true. However, I could have even higher margins if I didn't spend a lot of it. So B-Law on our team, God bless him, man. He said for 4 years, I would say, hey man, don't worry about what you spend. Just focus on earning a shit ton of money. Right. And like, that's partly true, right? And I would have 100, 200, 300, I don't know what the number is, $400,000 more in net worth or more, if I would have been a little bit more dialed into my finances, right? Hormozy had a great video and he talked about a $200 pair of shoes. And if you put $200 in a compounding interest calculator.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, and you do 9% compounding interest, it's like $6,000 in 4 years. So does that $200 pair of shoes, is that worth $6,200 to you?
Ed Milet does that same, does a familiar math with that same equation. Me and Connor listened to it. It actually was one of the first podcasts we listened to about finances. He said $1 million back in 1970 is worth $3.4 million today.
So 56 years later.
And it's about 90% of people are sleepwalking and don't know the math of that. And it's kind of crazy because it's like, dude, if I wanted to be a millionaire back in 1970, I need $3.4 million today.
Yes.
And a lot of people just are okay with barely hitting 100,000. Some people don't even get to that point.
Or 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000. I'm rich, baby. Right? No. You're vulnerable. Right? And the truth is we're a lot more vulnerable to attack in our finances than we care to admit. So we're here to shake you, like respectfully, and as your brother, right? We're here to grab you by the arms, by the shoulders, and say, you gotta wake up, man. Okay? Because your future self is depending on what you do right now. Is what you do on a daily basis. Your future self is depending on you, on what you do now, what you do this week, what you do this month, what you do this year, the decisions that you make, the things that you say no to, right? So right now I'm in a season of saying no, right? Moody asked me if I wanted to go to Miami in June or whatever. I'm like, hey, right now it's a no. Right? I got to focus. I'm focused, man. I'm focused. I'm real focused. Right? No. It does not fit the game plan. Right? I heard somebody say, like the higher you elevate in your income level, the more you have to say no. Right. And I think there's a lot of truth to when you start off in business, you want to say yes to a lot of things, but that's yes to opportunities, yes to being in the right rooms. Right. If you got 10 grand, right, and it costs like $1,000 to get into a room with Andy Elliott, say yes. Hell yeah. Because does it produce income? Does it make you a better version of yourself? You want to say yes to a lot of those things.
And when you get into that habit of saying yes, the right opportunity will come, and you will subconsciously just say yes. You're just like, yeah, yes, whatever it is, I'll do it. Right. And then boom, the opportunity just smacks you in the face. You're like, holy smokes, it worked.
There you go. And so say yes to the things that produce you income and say no to liabilities in your life, right? Can you buy that house that you want in cash? Yes or no? Can you buy that car in cash? Yes or no, right? Can you buy that thing in cash? Have you been working for weeks and months to buy that thing or years to buy that thing? Or are we like everyone's like, oh yeah, I just bought my first house. You see it on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram, but I used to see that all the time. It's like, I bought my first house. No, you got approved from a bank. to buy a house, right? That's the reality, right? No, because nobody says, oh yeah, I bought my first house in cash. That's when I'm triple liking and throwing comments out there. Hell yeah, that's how you do it, right? Now, we won't get into like if you should buy a house or not, but like, can you buy that thing in cash? Oh man, nice car. No. Nice car loan, bro. You got a car loan, right? You miss a couple payments. Guess who's coming knocking to your door to come take that sucker back?
Oh yeah.
Right? So you are a business professional.
So
and you need to start acting like it. Go ahead.
Let me ask you the $1 million question I'm sure everyone's thinking about. How do you stack cash?
Well, number one is you got to get your income up, right? And just do the math, right? Do the math. So when I was 27, that's when I made the decision. I'm like, okay, I'm in the right vehicle. I got the right people around me. People around me are making the money that I want, right? And then so I just got to go find out how, right? Because I'm getting smoked on objections, right? I'm getting demotivated every single freaking day, right? And I didn't know, like, I'm just like, okay, there's something they know that I don't know, and I want that money, so they're going to tell me, right? Because they're my friends, they're my teammates, right? And all you got to do is ask, right? So the number one decision was I got to get my income up, right? And the first target was to stack $100,000, to stack $100,000 to invest. Right. So number one is how do you stack cash? Is you need a reason. You need a reason. Right. There's so many people that I talk to, that I coach and things like that are in our company that stay in that zone between $5,000 and $10,000 of just cash in their bank account. They get to 10,000 and then they cool it back down. Things start happening, right? That it cools it back down, and then they get below 5,000. Oh, we heat it back up, right? And then they just stay in this zone. I know for sure that person does not have a real reason to bust through the ceiling, right? So number one is you have to have a reason. You want a couple reasons?
Yeah, give me a couple reasons, man.
Somebody, sometime, somewhere is going to want and need your help. It could be now, it could be in 10 years, it could be 20 years, it could be in 50 years. Somebody around you is going to need some financial help. Why? Because they weren't prepared in their own life, right? And if it's your brother, I think about my brother because he's a wonderful human being. I love him to death. Shout out Daniel. And I thought about him, man. Like, what if something happens to them financially and they need $50,000? Am I going to be able to help them? Can I write that check? Right? Because if you can write a check for a problem, you do not have that problem. Okay. So number one is a reason. Somebody in your life at some point, whether it's a family member, friend, whatever, are you putting yourself in a position to be helpful in the future? Okay. So that's number one. Number two is your future self is going to, like, how do you want your finances to look in 5 years and 10 years, right? Just do the math. If you continue to operate the way you're operating right now with no change, what's your finances going to look like? Right. When I did the math, I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm dead. Right. I'll never get there. So do the math. Right? What's other reasons? There's plenty of reasons. I want to be financially free. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want, for however long I want. And ultimately, I want to play guitar on the beach. I want to play guitar on the beach, not worrying about money. Like I won't even have a tip jar. Where's your tip jar? Oh, I don't do this for money. I just love it. Like, that's my dream.
That's the vibe.
Yeah. And maybe I do that for a day and I'm like, this sucks. But at least that
you can do it.
That's right. That's right. It's like, hey, I did it. Right. And then, oh, guess what? I'm on the beach. Right. So what is your vision and what are the reasons? Because if your money ain't going up, you don't have enough reasons. That I think that's bottom line.
Yeah. And if you have a vision, you need the cash, because we were just talking about this earlier. It's how we view cash is oxygen for your business and for your life. If you're short on cash, you're short on oxygen, you're going to try to run a mile and you're going to be short. You're going to have no breath. You're going to literally just be just huffing and puffing, and you're only running when it's convenient. You're slowly walking, you're slowly moving, and that's how you're gonna run your business. That's how you're gonna run your life. So you need so much oxygen in your life. So when a surplus that when you have it and when you need it, when someone else needs it, you can give it to them. You can help them start running. You can make yourself run to the top of the mountain that you've been chasing your whole life. But if you don't have any oxygen, if you don't have cash, then you go into this random panic state. And if you're panicking, you're not worrying about the next breath. You're just trying to survive. So give yourself the oxygen to run your life. Because my vision is I don't want to be 65 traveling around the world. That sounds horrible. Dude,
all right.
I see a lot. No, that's me because I see a lot of people in our industry.
We're going hiking. I can't. I'm 65.
They're 65 and they're unhealthy. They can, and I see that on a daily basis.
Yes, we
do.
do.
And it's like, dang, the risk of that's so high. Why am I going to put myself in a situation to be 65 and I can't even move anymore? Something could happen. I can't control what's going to happen to me. If something bad happens to me and I'm 65, I can't even move out of my house anymore. And I just waited this illusion of like, okay, I'm going to work for the next 30 years of my life. Yep. I'm going to wait until, my 401k stacks up. And then now I'm old and I can't move. I can't even do nothing with that money. It's like, what was the point?
How many times? So we sit down with folks from the age of 50 to 80. Robert, I want you to chime into this too. How many times have you heard in your career or on a weekly or monthly basis when you talk to somebody at that age and they say, yeah, the golden years, that's a bunch of crap. How many, have you heard that a bunch? A lot of times. Have you heard that a bunch?
Yeah, I have.
I hear that all the time. And that's a wake-up call, right? That's a wake-up call. And, a lot of those folks, they have not taken care of their finances. Right? Social Security ain't going to help you. Your 401k may, but I don't know about you guys, but I never saw anybody be like, this house was paid for by my 401k. This yacht, this boat, 401k. That was my 401k that paid for all this.
I just paid my grandchildren's schooling with my 401k.
401k. No,
yeah,
absolutely.
They paid it in cash.
There we go. So, another reason is that there are plenty of opportunities to make investments. There are plenty of opportunities. I get several emails every day from folks that I've connected with that send me deals, right? And I look at all of them, right? I can send you guys some. I forgot. I used to do that, and I stopped sending them to folks.
I like when you do that.
Yeah, just so you can see them. So you can see what the cash on cash and all that stuff. Just learning about it, right? And so I got it from GC, Grant Cardone, man. He said, dude, invest in yourself, right? Invest all your money in yourself to make yourself a better person, to help yourself produce more income and get to 100K and then dump the 100K into a deal, right? Don't invest $5,000 at a time or $2,000 or whatever, right? That was his advice. And that was great, right? The only thing is, which we can talk about investments on a different deal, is so I was thinking about in $100,000 chunks. Right. And so the game I was playing for a long time, still am, is, hey, how quickly can I stack $100,000? And what happens is the person you become along the way as you're stacking this is you become a different person. Right. And you do it faster. Right. It took me like 2.5 years. Let's see. No. So made the first deal in 2021, made a decision in February of 2017. So 4 years. So it's 4 years to stack the first 100.
To invest.
And then dumped it. Oh, no. Sorry. It was 160 because I did two at the same time. So it was 4 years to stack 160. After I made a decision, drew a line in the sand, right? And then I got to 100, right? No deal around. And then I got to 160. 2 deals came out of nowhere. And in 2 months, I dropped 100 into one and then 50 in another, right? Because I was ready. Right. And then went to go pick up another 100. Right. And then I don't know how many deals I know how many deals I'm in. Yeah, absolutely. I used to have them on my wall. Now it's soundproofing. Yeah, so that's a cool game to play. All right. And so you want to make big plays. Right? You want to make big plays. And going back to the opportunity, there are all kinds of opportunities out there to put your money. Okay. There's no shortage of people that want you to invest with them. Mm-hmm. Okay. But the key is do you have the money? And do you have the opportunity to replenish that money? When I told my dad that I was dropping $100,000 into a real estate deal, he flipped his lid. He's like, that's a lot of money. I'm like, I know, Dad. I know.
Aren't you excited?
Yeah. And then I said this because I knew I knew he was going to blow up. And I was like, and I'm okay if I lose it all. And he's like, ah. And I'm like, but Dad, I got confidence that I can go get it again. Right. And at least I'll learn something. At least it'll be $100,000 mistake. Now, don't like, we'll talk about investments. Like, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know who you're investing with. You got to make sure that they have a track record, and you got to make sure that what you invest in is something you value. Okay. Now, I think we got off track because we're talking about finances and sales.
We love this topic, by the way.
It's good. It's good. Yes. So you got to say no now so you can say yes to everything in the future. Okay. You might need to go to your spouse and say, no. That's a complete sentence. No, we cannot eat out for right now, right? Not for the next 1 month, not for the next 2 months. We can't eat out. We are on the rice and beans diet, baby. What's gotten into you? I'm trying to get our financial, no try. We are getting our financial future in order. And baby, I screwed up.
We're eating rice and beans now so we can drink Mai Tais in Thailand.
Come on.
The next time.
Forever. Come on. Yes. So you got to say no. You got to say no. Now, no is not a sexy word to our friends. No is not a sexy word sometimes to our spouses. No is not a sexy word to ourselves, right? Oh, but are you telling me I got to reduce my lifestyle? Maybe you do. Maybe you overspent on your car, right? Maybe you overspent on this thing. Maybe you overspent on that thing, right? So a good thing to think about is pay for your stuff up front, like work for it and then buy it. Because what happens a lot of times is people buy it and then they work to pay it off, right? So is it part of the plan, right? So when I dropped that 150 into 2 deals, dude, I've been working on that for years, right? It's like, oh yeah, these fit my criteria at the time, and I'm ready to go. Boom, pa-pow. And then I go back to work to go get more, right? Not to pay that thing off, right? So work to buy it. Don't buy it and then work to pay it off. That makes sense?
It's like a house.
You tracking? Yeah, sure. So I got mixed feelings about buying houses.
Yeah, we
and
could
stuff.
skip that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Very opinionated on that one.
And it depends on what you value, right? If you value a house, then great. Does it fit exactly where you're going, right? So I do recommend that folks start listening to the Dave Ramsey podcast. Okay. Now I was not a fan. But I was not a fan, not because I listened to it and I didn't like it. I was not a fan because one of the mentors I was listening to didn't like him. So I was just regurgitating in my mind. It was the oddest realization a few months ago. And then I started eating his podcast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I was like, oh my God, this is awesome, right? In the sense that he gives you because he does coaching calls on the radio show all the time. It's amazing. So you should look into it, right? No matter where you're at in your finances, unless you're like filthy rich, right? If you are in debt, listen to that freaking podcast, man.
You can always learn something from those stuff.
100%. One thing that I got from it is like, dude, people that call in are mostly W-2 peeps, right? Meaning like, hey man, we get a set income every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever, right? And in sales, we have control, baby. And they say, hey man, hey sweetheart, you're not making enough money. Like, can you get a raise at where you're currently at? No, it's going to be a while. Okay. Well, then you're going to need to pick up extra shifts. Oh, I can't because I got kids. This person
what can we do?
SOL, right? Oh, by the way, they got college debt. Oh, by the way, they got credit card debt. Oh, by the way, they got a car payment. Oh, by the way, they got a mortgage, right? So some people are in a tight spot, right? But in sales, you got control of your income more than any other position that I know of, right? And so that's the beautiful part. So no matter where you're at in your finances, you can mop up the mess that you created, right? And so all it takes is a decision. All it takes is a simple strategy. All it takes is a little bit of courage. All it takes is a little bit of guts. It takes a team, right? Don't try to do it by yourself, man. It takes a team. Who are you going to be rolling with? Who are you going to war with? Right. And if I love this quote. I wrote this down the other day from Dave Ramsey. He said, hey man, like you've got a big mess financially. And he's like, what you need to do is you need to stick a stick of dynamite in that mess and you need to take care of it. Right. You need to blow it up. And he said that TNT, that dynamite is dollars. So I love that. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. So get your income up, right? Do not increase your spending as you increase your earnings. It's called lifestyle creep, and it's an epidemic. It's an epidemic. What does that mean? That means that if we earn we earn $1,000 more every month. Most people, they're like, oh, great. I can afford
$1,000.
I can afford the mortgage now. Oh, I'm going to go buy a house. Oh, I can afford that car payment now. I'm going to get a better car. Right? Well, you haven't paid off that one, and you can't afford that one anyways. Why? Because you're not stacking anything. Do the math. If you keep going the way you're going, do the math. How long is it going to be till you're a millionaire? Right? How long is it going to be till you have 2 million? How long is it going to be till you have 5 million? How long is it going to be till you have 10 million? Right? So Grant Cardone says millionaire is the new middle class. Millionaire is the new middle class. And he also says that 10 million is actually the number, right? When you get to that age, whatever that is, that's the number is 10 million, right? Now, that might seem like a big number, right? But you got to chunk it down. That's why I like 10. If it's tough for you to get out of wherever you're at right now, it's like first you start with 10 grand, then you go to 50 grand, then you go to 100 grand, and then the game is on.
I forgot where I heard this from, but it was like figure out your yearly expenses and figure out how long do you want to live, and then you times that by 3. And that's how much money you would theoretically need to stack, if not double, to even be financially free. Isn't that crazy? Like some people just think like 100K is financially free.
Can you say that again? I missed it.
Yeah. So you get your annual, so whatever you spend on your life, and you get the annual rate.
You spend on your life annually.
Okay. And you times it by how many years you want to live, and you times that by 3. Because inflation, because of problems, because more stuff this, more stuff that. And what's that number? I mean, we could probably figure out mine right now, actually.
Yeah, so I remember, I spent about 20 grand on food, at least last time.
Actually, let's figure this out. This is cool.
Yeah, so 20 grand, and then what do you say?
And
this is strictly on food, but no, you're talking about everything.
Everything. I mean, we could just do food here. Let's do food.
Okay, so I spent 20 grand on food,
and then times it by how many years you want to live. So how long do you want to live? You're 35. You want to be 85. So times it by 50. Let's just times it by 50.
I don't want to say a low number because then my mind might go to work to end my life at that number. I'm going to be 130.
Okay, do 130.
Okay, so 20 times 130.
Right. Minus 35. So it'd be 95. Times by 95.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because you're already 30. Yeah. So 20,000 by 95. It's $1,900,000. And then times that by 3. So you need $6 million just for your food to be able to live up to 130 financially free, not have to worry about a dime.
Yeah, when I'm 130, I think Chipotle is going to be like $89.
That's why you times it by 3. That's for
okay. All right. So let's just say let's do this again. All right. Let's just say my life costs 100 grand a year.
100 grand a year.
Let's do this again.
Times 95.
95. Dang, okay, so that's 9,500,000.
Yep, 10 mil.
And then times 3.
Yep,
30 million.
Yes, 28,500,000. That's how much money you need to have.
Well, I'm going to run some leads.
That's what you need right now to live up to 130 without worrying about a dime again.
Okay.
With your current lifestyle. With inflation, and maybe that's like with like life crisis sometimes, like you need to give out money. But that's the number. That's the number you need to have for accumulated to live the rest of your life. And people tell me $100,000 is financially free. Doesn't even make any sense to me. The math doesn't math.
It's a good start. It's a good start because that can be a big number. That can be a big number to folks. It's a big number to me. 30 million is a big number to me, right? I'm like, okay, all right. Now, okay, how are we going to do this? Compounding. All right, some of the deals of these have to roll. Let's see. The startup's got a 10x. Okay,
I don't want to get into investing because I can go forever in investing. But it puts you in
do the math.
It puts your perspective in a whole bigger like platform of like, am I doing what my finances need to be doing? And if it's the answer is no, how can I make it look like this? How can I make the projection soon look like this? How can I actually be financially free and retire early without worrying the rest of my life? How can I do that quicker? How can I do that better? And when you sit there and you do the math, then you can figure out with our sales, you can figure out like, dang, this is how we can do it at a higher level.
Yes. So where do we start? We start at where you can start.
Mm-hmm.
We start at where you can start. And where you can start is start small. whatever you can. Maybe you're not saving anything for investments. Look, I've heard Dave Ramsey talks about you need to be storing 15% of your net into investments, right? Which would be into this thing, something that earns as time goes on, right? GC, Grant Cardone, says 40% needs to be going into investments, right? The only way you can do 40% is if you have a high income and your frugal lifestyle, right? So just giving you a thought process is somewhere in between there is going to be the number, but start with what you can start with, even if it's less than storing 15%.
Something is better than nothing.
Right? Because Dave Ramsey talks about the baby steps, right? We're going to have some sales baby steps because translated to 1099, translated to sales, because we got to start somewhere, right? So start with what you can start with, shift some money aside on a regular basis, not in an emotional week, like, I had a good week, so I'm going to store some money. No. On a regular basis. If you can just start with $50 a month to shift over into an account that's called storage for investments, right? Then that's a great start. And that's a sacred account that you never take out of. And it's a great start. I remember talking to my Uncle Tim, shout out Tim McWilliams, wealthiest person in my family. We're not even blood related, right? He was in the digital boom and the .com era. And he called Twitter. He didn't invest in Twitter, but he told me about Twitter like 10 years before it blew up. He should have invested in that, but like he called so many things. And I think he called TikTok before it came out too. He's very involved with that stuff. Super smart guy. But I told him that I was in stacking $750 a week, whatever 37,000 was in a year. I've said right now I'm saving $37,000 a year, and he's like, "That's fantastic." I'm like, "Really?" Right? Because I'm listening to guys who's talking about big numbers, and I'm like, "Oh man, $37,000 that's weak." But he's like, "Man, that's good." So start with what you can start with. If you just start with $100 a week, $50 a week, $200 a week. 500, pick a number that you know you can do and start shifting that aside into a storage for an investment account, right? Whether that's a Wealthfront high yield savings, an Ally high yield savings, right? That's not going to be your permanent residence for that money, right? But at least it's getting something for now. Then you want to go on your hunt for what do I want to invest in. Now, I think we're diving too much into investments because we're talking about finances and sales.
Sorry, man.
You got to get your money right in sales. Why is this important? Because you don't want to show up to your clients nose to nose and be looking at dollar signs, right? You want to be in a service mindset, not how much money can I get out of this person, right? Because if we're stacked up with bills, stacked up with debt, stacked up with pressure, well, is that gonna show up in our pitch? Mm-hmm. Is that gonna show up in our intro? Mm-hmm. Is that gonna show up in the close?
Always.
Is that gonna show up how we do rapport?
Show up in everywhere.
Is that gonna show up on how we look, on how we're presenting ourselves, right?
The energy we give out.
Yeah, man. I'm like, man, when I'm feeling like crap and I'm like not engaged in my finances, I'm like, I don't care what I look like today, man. I don't care about getting to work early, man. I don't care about knocking doors. I don't care about this. Like, why? Because I'm defeated, right? But when I'm engaged, I'm like, what is going on, right? I'm feeling good, looking good, and I'm rocking and rolling. So by getting your money right, you're actually going to be making more sales, right? By getting your money mind right, you're going to make more sales because you don't have a neediness energy. You don't show up with commission breath to every single presentation that you have, right? Because that pressure is a burden. That pressure that you have that maybe you put yourself in, that is a burden. So now it's time to alleviate that burden, and that means getting dialed in at producing income at your place of work. You agree with that?
I agree.
Come on. So what else? What else?
I wrote down actually 3 mistakes people make when they're trying to stack money.
Come on.
Is the first one's they blame sales. They don't blame sales, they blame sales.
It's the leads.
It's the leads.
It's my manager.
It's the
product. It's the client. Oh, you can't fix stupid. You can't fix stupid. Oh, yeah. Oh, he was just a tire kicker.
Oh.
Right? The excuses that we come up with.
And when you blame something else, you can't fix anything else. But you can fix yourself. So take full responsibility of your finances, take full responsibility of your performance.
Yes.
And grow from it.
Come on.
And then the second one is stop taking advice from losers. And that
No
sounds,
offense.
No offense. That sounds kind of mean, but
Somebody who's not winning.
someone who's okay losing, right? And
Complacent.
exactly. And
Plays video games all the time.
Like, honestly, because I feel like a lot of people that take advice from people they're closest to, I'm not calling them losers, but if they're not closest to your goals, don't take advice from them because they don't know how to even get you there in the first place. Mm-hmm. So, like, if I go to,
But they'll give you advice.
Like, it's like going to a really, I don't know how to not be mean at this. Actually, let's just do
This is your podcast, man. Say what you need to say.
I was like, it's going to like a fat guy and asking how to lose weight. And say, hey, man,
Truth hurts.
Yeah, the truth hurts. And he's going to give you his opinion.
He might know.
He might know, but he's not doing it.
Yes.
So the proof is not in the pudding with that person. It's like going to someone who doesn't know how to stack 100K.
Yep.
Hey, how do I stack 100K? He doesn't know either.
Hey, Robert, there's a Post-it note on the window over there. It's the one on the right. It's something about results, about knowing results. Is that one? Yeah, I heard this not too long ago. It's awesome. So, is this one? Aha! Yes. So if you're displaying the results, you must know it. If you're not displaying the results, then you must not know it, right? And it's as simple as that, right? There's advice everywhere, right? And I'll tell you this. Oh man, what do these guys know? Hey man, we got at least a combined income over $1 million last year. Okay, so if you're displaying the results, you must know it. If you're not displaying the results, you must not know it, right? And that simple process, that thought process is about, hey man, just go to the folks that are on the trajectory of where you want to go, or at least have those results.
And here's
and if you have to pay for it, pay for it.
And here's the catch. You got to ask for help from those people. What I found out is that people who want to stack bread and they let their ego get in the way and they don't ask for help, well, then we're not going to stack any bread because we don't know how to do it. And that's okay. It's okay to not know. So ask for help for people who are closest to your goals. And I promise you this, they're not going to judge you. They're actually going to be so happy to help you. It's like this. It's like, it's something off of Instagram. It's like a millionaire won't laugh at your business idea.
Yeah.
A millionaire will not do it.
Or your big dreams, or your big goals.
An athlete wouldn't make fun of you for trying to get better at a sport.
Nope.
A bodybuilder won't make fun of you for trying to get better at the gym. They won't. But the people who aren't doing it will.
Interesting.
So just ask for those people's help because they won't judge you. They will help you.
Dude, I remember when I would have a bad week, which happened a lot.
Can't do that.
Was that funny? So, me getting my ass kicked is funny?
Just comes out of nowhere.
That's like my 7-year-old niece. She hits me in the balls and she's like, no, just kidding. So whenever I would have a bad week, a lot of times, most of the time, I would sit there and watch Grant Cardone videos on the weekend, right? And I'm sitting down, I'm in a household with two of my boys, right? One of them being Corden, right? Who I run our sales team with. And we were 25, 26, 27, somewhere in that range. And lots of friends that lived on the street too, right? Awesome people, right? Awesome people. They love me, right? A lot of them are coming to my wedding, like awesome people. But here's the tricky part is, they were drinking, watching football. And it's like, dude, it's so hard to study, at noon on a Saturday when you got 75 games on the TV, 2 TVs out here. Man, I love sports, right? But I would be told like, hey man, like you don't have to you can do that later, right? Hey, we're going out. You want to go? Like, you got to come out. It's like, nah, man, I'm good. I didn't have a very good week. I got to do this. Oh man, what are you doing? Wait, like you don't have to do that. You can do that later, right? And so that is and I'd win that battle and I'd lose that battle, right? I remember somebody chugging a beer in my face. It was a good buddy, and he was chugging a beer in my face. Right. And he's like, rah, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I started drinking after that, right? That night. Right. And so I succumbed to the peer pressure. So like getting your shit together is hard at times. Right. And the people around you, they weren't trying to kill me. They were just trying to have fun with me, man. And so like, we're not kicking anybody in the nuts. Like I love those people. Right. But it was hard in that season. To really try to get my stuff together, right? And when I was living with Jorts and Corden, like what I had to do is I had to leave until like 2 or 3 p.m. on a Saturday, right? So I would go to a coffee shop, I watch my videos, clean up the mess of just my apps, or just go through my finances or whatever, because I knew I had to get out of the house, or else like I might start drinking at noon, right, or something like that. Or just start chilling or playing video games or something. Good people. Matter of fact, George is, one of our highest earners, if not the highest earner on our team. Right. And so absolutely love those guys. But here's my point is sometimes you have to separate yourself. And there's going to be a gravitational pull to your friends and family. That's going to be hard. Right. So this is why it's hard to separate yourself sometimes in business and in your finances, right? Because you're going to feel like you're the odd man out at times. And that's tough. And I won that battle and I lost that battle. And as time went on, won that battle more than lost. And meaning like then I'd go play golf or whatever. Cause like, dude, like it's Saturday, it's a nice day out, and I know how delicious a cold beer is on the golf course and with my buddies and stuff like that. But it feels way better when you earn it, right? So earn that good time, right? And if you didn't earn it during your work week, then pay the price on the weekend, because I promise you that it pays off in the long run. I promise you it pays off in the long run, because your future self and your future finances are depending on what you're doing now. Now, I can't put a finger on it on like, that one Saturday back in 2016 where I said no, that made me X amount of dollars. I can't put a finger on it, but I can tell you this. Is now, we got an awesome team. Finances are looking dope. We got a bunch of investments that are cooking, right? Our entire company's put me in charge of training. It's like all kinds of good things. We got a podcast now.
A lot of mistakes, but no regrets.
That's right. Well, I got a lot of regrets. Yeah, but they're also lessons. They're also lessons. And so, I understand that this can be hard for some of us to make these decisions and to continue to make these decisions, right? But you didn't come into sales to just get by. You didn't come into sales to use your job as an ATM. Oh, I need some quick cash to pay for this bill that comes up.
Sales is way too hard just to get by.
Yeah. And so it's not an ATM. It's a sales is a vehicle to get financially independent. So it's time to start treating it as such. Does that make sense? Are we tracking? Everybody tracking? Cool.
It's my favorite topic.
There you go. And you also didn't come into sales to be stressed about money. Now, you may be in that spot right now. Good, right? Keep going, right? Is you got to draw a line in the sand and saying, hey, enough is enough, right? Now's the time to get my finances and my business and my sales and my clients, build a big old book of business, and whatever business you're in, like your future self will thank you, right? So I'm 35, about to go 36. And like, I did make a lot of mistakes, but I'm so glad I made a lot of these good decisions along the way. Right. And there was a time where I'm like, I don't think I'll be a good producer. There was a time where I was like, I don't think anybody will listen to me. There's a time where I was like, man, I don't think like I'll be able to lead a team. Right. There was a time where I'm like, I don't think I can do a training call. Right. There's a time where like, I don't think I'll ever bench, 225. I don't think I'll ever bench 135, but you keep moving down the path and in the direction that you want to go. And then you look backwards, and then you really see how much growth that you actually have, right? Because you're learning, if you're in sales, you're learning so much right now, especially if you're intentional, especially if you're keeping your eyes open, especially if you continue to listen to the It's Go Time podcast, right? Because we're here to help you. We're here to get your finances right. We're here in your corner. We don't know who you are. Let us know who you are, right? Submit your questions into the survey. Is it a survey? Into the survey at the bottom of the show notes, because we want to help you, right? We want to take live calls at some point, right? We want to do this stuff, right? It's the coolest thing. Isn't it the coolest thing to help a teammate out, and then they come back and they say, hey, I tried that thing and it worked.
Dude, I love that.
It's the coolest freaking thing, dude. It's like, dude, like for instance, like we had a teammate that was like, hey man, dude, like in 1 week, my finances turned around. That's the coolest shit ever, dude. Right. And I'm like, whoa, it may have felt like this week, but it was a compound effect from the weeks and weeks and weeks of you freaking getting after it, man. Right? May or may not have been the Croatian Tiger, man. Super proud of that dude. Right?
And it was one decision to change his finances forever.
Right.
It's one decision.
What was it? Did you say enough's enough? I don't want to be broke no more, right? Put in the show notes. I don't want to be broke no more. I don't want sales to be this damn hard, right? Let us know.
You gotta let us know, man. And you always make the decision to keep changing, keep growing, and keep going.
Keep going. Good. Keep going. All right. As we always do at the end of the podcast, public service announcement. A kindness is free, right? Maybe everybody in your family's an asshole. Great. You can be the first kind one in your whole family, right? That happens. That happens. It's a real thing. Be the example, right? Leadership is being the exemplary example across the board, right? And kindness is one of them. Kindness is free. You have a choice, right, to be kind. I have a vision. What's up, Chico? I have a vision, right, that people on the road are kinder to each other. Right. So we live in OKC. People are pretty kind on the road out here. You drive to Dallas. You're from Dallas. How do people drive down there? Dude, why? Because we're not being kind to each other, right? It's like, I've got to get to where I want to go. Dude, like, bro, you know that in traffic, we're all on the same team, right? Right? Like, help the flow, right? Help the flow. Be safe and be kind. Dylan, what time is it?
It's go time, baby.
It's go time.
Let's do it.
We love you guys. Peace.
Peace.